When I get up close with the mirror, I'm not like, you know, when that happens, we're like, oh no, what's happening to my under eyes? Hi you guys, welcome back to the Clean Beauty Code. I'm so excited for this video. We are doing something fun and new. We are doing my top favorite clean beauty product per like category, and I'm freaking amped. We're doing makeup only right now, and if you're interested, I can do other categories like skincare and all of that, but I thought this would be real fun. So I'm jazzed. I just want to kind of get into it. I have everything in front of me here. I feel like a lot of this stuff won't surprise you. Maybe some stuff will surprise you, but I'm really excited to get into it. I feel like this would be a fun video to do like once or twice a year. So let me know down below if you agree. And yeah, I just want to kind of jump in and get started. So this isn't the longest video of all time because we all know it can't stop yapping. So if you're excited for this video and more videos like this, then please like and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into this top makeup category video, this top clean beauty product per makeup category video. I don't know what to call it, but you know what I mean. Let's get into it. All right, you guys, let's get into it. I'm excited. You're excited. We're all excited. Let's jump into it, shall we? Setting spray. Let's start here. People tend to like a different setting spray dependent on what the occasion is, what their needs are, and if they just want a mist, if they want something that's truly setting, if they want something that's a little bit more sticky, if they want something that makes you more matte. There's a million different things a setting spray can do. Let me tell you what I like. If I'm picking an all-rounder setting spray, I want something that I can spray before my makeup, then do my makeup, then spray after, and it all plays well together. I like something that melts the powder into my face if I'm wearing powder, especially if it's a night out. I like something that gives me a really natural look to the face, doesn't make me look too dewy, doesn't make me look matte. I like something that gives me a very natural look, and if it makes me a little bit more dewy than matte, then I like that, and that's really what I'm looking for, and obviously holds my makeup in place longer. So the PYT setting spray I really like, and I also like something that has a nice mist, and this has a nice mist. Let me show you. Look at that mist, you guys. You see that? Let me show you. There's mist everywhere now, but like, had to do it. This is a great mist. The mist is great because it really covers your whole face in one spray. I have a smaller face, but still maybe two if you have a bigger head or a bigger face, but this is really good. It just sets everything in place. Again, I spray my like if I'm having like a long day or I'm at an event, wedding, whatever, I spray my face first, do my makeup, then like do my setting spray as throughout, and it works really well, and I really enjoy this, and it wets my face enough, and that is really important. Some setting sprays are just like a light mist, and it's like, sweetie, I need to use this entire bottle to set my face. No ma'am, no thank you. So this is really good, the PYT setting spray. It's nice, and it doesn't have a strong scent. It does have a little bit of a scent, but it doesn't have a strong scent. I enjoy this. Okay, next, let's talk nail polish, and I only picked one. Everyone's gonna be shocked because I have two that are my true obsession. The one that I picked is Olive and June, but my other obsession is Dazzle Dry. The reason I didn't pick Dazzle Dry is because that's more of a system, and this is more of a true, just like you can use one nail polish and be good, whereas Dazzle Dry, you need the whole system. So obsessed with this. I love Olive and June. Their nail polishes dry really fast. They're a little bit on the thicker side, so they can give you that more of that gel look, and they do give you more of a gel look, especially if you apply it well. And because they dry really fast, it doesn't take a million years. You can still use like dry drops with them and it'll dry even quicker, but they're so good, super luxurious looking. The colors are beautiful, and they're super easy to apply, and their brush shape is incredible. So, because like when it gets you right at your cuticle, I don't know, it's so good. I'm obsessed. So this is actually, oh, this might be the color I'm wearing right now that's all chipped. This is the color CDJ, and I think that's what I'm wearing on my nails today. It's a beautiful shade. I just picked one to have an example. I have a million of their shades, and the top coat is like to die for. Like literally, there's nothing out there in this universe that's better than Olive and June top coat. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's Essie, OPI, but this is super good. I'm obsessed. All right, next, let's move on to the next category. Okay, here. This has a lot, but there's a reason that there's a lot, because I feel like there's a lot of different categories in this, so bear with me. Blush. So I have a cream, powder, and a liquid blush, and I want to highlight those because some people have preferences, so I want to let you know in those categories which is my favorite, and then I'll tell you which is my favorite overall. All right, let's do cream blush first. The Tower 28 Beach Please blush. Now these are great. I'm obsessed with these. I'm actually wearing this shade on my cheeks today. It's the shade Magic Hour. I love this blush. It's super long lasting. It's really creamy. It's thick enough to last super long, but it's not super thick that it like gives you texture on your cheeks. Now, the other ones that I love that I was picking between, because I was picking between three cream blushes actually, was, oh, grammar's hard today. The Rose Ink Cream Blush, which I love, and the LYS Beauty Cream Blush. Those are really good as well. The reason I picked the Tower 28 over those, I just slightly like the texture of the Tower 28 cream blush more than the Rose Ink or the LYS Beauty, but those are beautiful formulas as well. But this one I would say etches them out slightly. They just came out with a new shade and I'm slapping that in my dang bag. Can't wait to buy it. Really good. Okay, next let's do liquid blushes. So, oh, I don't have that many liquid blushes, but I do definitely have a favorite and I don't think anyone is going to be surprised. The Saie Beauty cream blush, liquid blushes. I'm sorry, they're just so freaking good. Did I say cream? Cream liquid. Liquid blushes, these are so good. I have all the shades. They're amazing. My favorite shade is the shade Rosy. I also really like the shade Chili and Spicy right now, but I love all of these shades. These are so good. In the winter, when I need like a little bit of something, but I want it to be really subtle, I love the shade, what is this, Peachy, incredible. These are also good, so pigmented, last really nicely on the cheek, and just overall wear really, really beautifully. They aren't the most long-lasting of long-lasting blushes. Like I would say the most long-lasting liquid creamy blush that I have is the Freck Beauty cheek slimes. Those are really good, but I'm obsessed with these. These are really good. You can't go wrong. And I really feel like they just have a shade for everyone's needs. Okay, next, powder blush. So this one was hard because I love a lot of powder blushes, and powder blush tends to be my favorite formula for long-lasting makeup looks, but this powder blush, the Bare Minerals Bronzer Blush Duo kind of thing, is so good. I have 2 shades of this. They have 3 total. This is the shade Kiss of Pink. This is so freaking good. And this just gives the most beautiful glow. If you're a big fan of the Hourglass Ambient Lighting blushes, this is a really amazing alternative to that because it doesn't have a lot of sparkle in it at all. It doesn't really. It just gives you like a glow, like a light sheen and a glow to the cheeks. It makes your cheeks look really healthy, and it blends and melts into the skin really, really nicely, and it plays well on top of other blushes if you want that. It also works really well on top of like every formula of like face product that I use. It works well alone. It works well with setting spray, without setting spray, with, you know, any like primer, whatever it is that you want. This works really well with it. I really, really like it. Now, if I have to go and I have to pick, oh, what's my favorite blush right now? It would probably be this one, of all of them, just because, right, I just always prefer powder. It just lasts really, really long, and if you find the right powder, it can just melt into your skin perfectly. And if you have an event or a wedding or something like that, powder blush is just the vibe, I'm telling you. Really, really good. Next, let's move on to complexion products. So I have a couple here, but they're all kind of something different. So I have a skin tint, a foundation, then I have my concealers and all of that. So let's get into it. Skin tint. I have a lot of favorite skin tints, and I have a skin tint video, so if you're wondering kind of all the rest of the skin tints in my collection, I have a whole video, but the Tower 28 Sunny Days Tinted Sunscreen is by far my favorite skin tint, and there's a couple reasons for it. They have really good undertones, it blends into the skin really nicely, it wears really naturally on the face, it gives me coverage, but it doesn't look heavy, still light enough to give me light coverage if I want it. It's a very versatile product, and it's amazing for summer, but I feel like it's amazing for year round. It just is beautiful. I have 2 shades in this. I have the shade 40 Runyon and the shade 45 Silver Lake. 45 Silver Lake is more neutral, and I tend to run a little bit more warm neutral, although I always prefer a neutral if I can. I always go neutral over warm, but these are great. This one, Runyon's a little bit more on the yellow side. I'm obsessed with these. These are really, really good, and just they wear beautifully all day. I'm obsessed. Okay, foundation. This one was tough because I really, really had to think about occasion and like the occasions that I'm wearing foundation, but also different types of occasions. So when I want it to be lightweight and dewy or look really natural, or when I want something that works if I want it a little bit more lightweight or a little bit more medium coverage, or if I want something that really just gives me everything I need. And so I sat and I thought for a while because I had a couple favorites, and I'll list the other favorites, but this is my favorite. So this is the Exa Beauty foundation. Now, there are a million reasons why I'm going to tell you that this one is my favorite. First of all, shade range, unmatched. Listen, if you're not giving shade range, I'm not interested in putting you in my favorites. I'm sorry. So this is really good. They have a really good shade range, and although all the other brands I'm going to mention do have some darker shades, they don't go dark enough and they don't go undertone right enough. So That's what I'm going to say with that. I really, really enjoy the Exo Beauty foundation. It wears beautifully. It gives me like a natural finish to the face. If I mix it with face creams or face oil, beautiful. If I wear it alone, beautiful. If I wear it without primer, beautiful. With setting spray, with everything, it just blends beautifully. The undertones are gorgeous. My shade is the shade 270 Rebecca. Really, really good. And overall, the most well-rounded, best foundation in my collection. Now, I also really like the Ilia foundation. Although I did like their older formula ever so slightly more. Their new formula is still beautiful. I also really like the Kosas foundation. I mean, there's a million foundations that I do love. This one kind of stands alone. And for my wedding day, I wore the Ilia foundation. However, I might actually grab this one now if I was getting married now, because I didn't have that then. I would probably grab this over the Ilia one just because it gives me everything I need, photographs beautifully, has a good shade range, doesn't pill. I don't know. This is just so good. Definitely check this out. And this isn't very expensive. And that also like slap in my bag. Okay, next. We're going to go concealers next. All right, concealer, let's get into it. First, we're going to do the one for all over the face. I have one for all over the face and then one for under my eyes. No one shocked. Mara Beauty Concealer Foundation Stick. I wear this shade Buff. Obsessed with this. This is so good. So good at concealing hyperpigmentation. So good at it doesn't cling. You can also wear it all over the face as foundation. It's just not my preference to wear it as a foundation, but it's still a beautiful foundation. This is so good. I love it. Also under the eyes. My preference again is for spot concealing, but you can wear it under the eyes and it's really, really nice. Mascara doesn't run with it. This doesn't really budge either, which is really, really good. I also have the shade Sand if I want something that's a little bit more brightening under the eyes, but this is so good for under the eyes if you want that. Again, I like it all over the face for concealing, but this is so good. Doesn't crease, doesn't bunch. I don't know. I'm obsessed with this. I mean, I talked about this a million times. I'm gonna stop yapping on. Okay, next, under eyes. So this one was a little bit harder because I had a couple that I love, but when I really thought about like standout, what was my favorite? What's the one I always grab? One that I know is gonna play well with all my under eye products, that's gonna not bunch, not crease really, and really just sit beautifully all day, even if I don't wear any foundation. And I came to one conclusion of one that had all of those things, even though the Ilia concealer was up there. I mean, there's a million concealers that are up there. The Rose Inc concealer. So I love this concealer. I bought it in another shade, a brighter shade. I have LX90 and then LX100. Amazing. Such a good concealer. Blends beautifully into the skin. Blends beautifully with your fingers, with like a sponge, with just a brush. Everything, this is really good. It plays well with all of my under eye creams. Can I get it together? All of my under eye creams, and it just doesn't bunch. I don't know. It just, when I get up close with the mirror, I'm not like, you know, when that happens, we're like, oh no, what's happening to my under eyes? I don't get that with this, and that's why this is my standout favorite, because no matter if it's oil, cream, if I'm setting it with something or I'm not setting it with something, I actually prefer not to set this with something. This is also super hydrating, but not so hydrating that you have to worry about creasing. This works well if I want to let it sit for a couple minutes, which I love to do. I love to let my concealer sit for a minute or two. I mean, even sometimes 5 minutes, I can let this one sit. Not all concealers can you do that because they set really fast, but this one doesn't. This is really good. I mean, I'm obsessed with this. I'm gonna stop yapping. Okay, next, my hair looks crazy and so dark today, you guys. Like, am I okay? Okay, next, let's move on to bronzers. So I have cream and then I have powder. No one's gonna be shocked by my powder because I'm obsessed with this. The Ilia bronzer. So this, oh man, I love this. I even have a hit pan here. So this is the Ilia bronzer. I have the shade Novelty. This is such a good bronzer because it melts into the skin. It has enough warmth, but it's not super orange on me, but they have a bunch of different shades now, which is great. Hopefully they get some more darker ones, but this is a really, really good one. It just melts into the skin again. It gives me a little bit of what Physicians Formula, the butter bronzer, does with how it just melts into the skin. It plays well with everything underneath it. It plays well on top of other products like other bronzers if you want that. This is super, super good. I love this. And this is like when I need to feel something in winter. Sweetie, she's here. She's here for me all the time. It's so good. Obsessed with this. All right, cream bronzers next. Let's do it. Rose Inc cream bronzer. I did not think that this was going to literally knock everything out of orbit. I have a couple other ones I want to mention because I think they kind of all do something different depending on your preference. So this is the best cream bronzer. I'm sorry, it just is. The Rose Inc cream bronzer. And the reason that this is going to be above some of the other ones I'm mentioning is because of the neutral undertones. We all need more neutrals in our life. I don't want something that is so neutral that it looks muddy, but I like something that's neutral enough with a hint of warmth. And I think that's also a lot of people's preferences, especially in winter. But I mean, I'm just obsessed with this. It wears super long. It looks beautiful on the skin. And it's also not so creamy that it almost feels like it's gonna melt off your face, if that makes sense. It's not a thick formula by any means. It is on the thinner side, but also has substance. I don't know how to explain it. This is a beautiful formula and the undertones are amazing. I have the shade Seychelles. I'm actually wearing it on my face today. It's so freaking good. It melts in the skin beautifully and it looks beautifully in person and on camera, and that is really freaking important. Now I have two other ones that I want to mention just in case, because everyone likes different undertones, and the formula I'm going to mention next is one that is in a pot too, and this is the Saie Beauty Sun Melt Bronzer, and I love this bronzer. It is a very similar texture to the Rose Ink one. I would say it's slightly thicker, but it's really, really good, but this is also a warmer undertone. So I wear the shade Medium Bronze, so if you like something a little bit warmer, the Saie Beauty one is amazing. I mean, these are both really good alternative dupes, whatever you want to call it, to the Chanel bronzer. They're really, really good. I'm a big fan of these. Okay, next you guys, stick bronzer, because a lot of people don't like pan bronzers, which I understand. People like something in a stick, and I found one that is amazing, and I've already talked about this, the LYS Beauty stick bronzer, the cream bronzer. She's so good. This is the shade, what is this? The shade I have in this is Harmony. I'm obsessed with this. It's so creamy, it melts into the skin, and the shade range is unmatched. I'm sorry, but like, everyone catch up. Everyone catch up to good shade ranges. Really good shade range, not super warm at all, which I love, but still has some warmth, definitely neutral, beautiful, beautiful shade range, and I think that you are going to love it. Try it out. It's just really, really good. And I would say the top of the two cream bronzers are like these two here. And they're my newest additions, but they have just performed so much better than I anticipated, that they're kind of knocking everything out of the freaking park. I would love to see if they're still my favorites at the end of the year. My assumption is yes. Okay, next let's move on to highlighter, you guys. At first I was like, oh, what's my favorite highlighter? And then I remember I literally have an obsession with this highlighter. No matter what, this will be like top of the game. The Minore highlighter. I'm obsessed with this. I have the shade Champagne. It is just so good. It's very lightweight. It's on the thinner side. They have two shades, so they have one that's more golden if you like that. This is really good because it just melts into the skin. Again, it isn't on the thicker side. It's not super like a thick cream. And it just gives the most beautiful glow in person and on camera, and that is just like life, but it's not too intense. Sometimes highlighters can be too intense. I mean, I love to glow to the gods, put it all over, in me, around me, obsessed. But sometimes you want it to be a little bit more on the subtle side, so this kind of can play both games, and it works well if you wet it. Like once you wet it, it like really zhuzhes you up. Really good. You should try it out. Okay, next, powder. Now, you shouldn't be shocked. And if you're shocked, I'm shocked you're shocked. Because this is my favorite. The Ami Collet. This is my favorite. I'm going to talk about one other one, but this is so good. I don't normally like loose powders. I'm sorry, I just don't. They just like fluff everywhere. I'll use them, but like in my everyday life, I don't like a loose powder that much. This is so good. It has like this little container here, not container, but stopper. So you can like fluff off extra and like kind of use that as a pan to work in. Ooh, that just fluffed everywhere. And this is just, look at that. It's just so good. That's everything beautifully, melts into the skin, truly translucent. This is the translucent shade. Just so freaking good. Now, if you want something that isn't loose, the Kosas Cloud Set Setting Powder. I'm obsessed with this. I've talked about this a million times. I've used it a million times on camera. It's just so freaking good. It's just so good. So I have this shade Cushiony, but I also have the shade Pillowy. Really, really good. Sets everything in place, gives you a little bit of a blur, and just kind of overall like gives what you need. I mean, the hype, I mean, I talked about this, I feel like the second that it launched, but this is, I'm obsessed with this. And again, melts into the skin and leaves everything looking a little bit more dewy than the Ami Collet one does. The Ami Collet one is it's a matte, but it's not like a true, I feel like it's a soft matte. And I don't know if soft matte's a thing, but this is like a soft matte style. This is definitely, it lets all the dew through, but incredible, really good. Okay, next let's move on to eyes. Primer. I'm obsessed with this primer, the PYT primer. It's just so freaking good. It's just so good. It's so freaking good. I'm obsessed with this. So this is the PYT primer. It's really good. It has a little bit of color to it. And although it looks like it's on the lighter side, let me just show you. So this is what it looks like. It blends out really nicely. It won't leave like a light cast if you have a darker complexion. It just kind of like blends into nothing and kind of slightly acts like a concealer on the lid and kind of evens it all out. It's beautiful. It works really well. I like to set it with powder and then do my makeup. You can also not set it, but like set it. Just set it. Always set your primer. It's just the best. Just do that. But this is really good. It keeps everything lasting all night. And I know I'm gonna get a question, do I feel like it's as good as the Urban Decay All Nighter or the Urban Decay Primer Potion or whatever it's called? I would say it's not quite as good, but it's as close as I found in the clean beauty world. It's really, really good. Okay, next. Eyeshadow palettes. No one's shocked by this. And if you are shocked, again, I'm shocked you're shocked. The Persona Cosmetics eyeshadow palettes, I'm sorry, they're just the best. They're so good. So I have two. I actually have they're one of their smaller palettes too. So I have this one. This is the Identity palette. It's just the neutral palette of dreams. And then I have the Identity 2, which is just like the best colorful, beautiful palette. The shimmers are great because they're not chunky at all. The mattes are great. They have a little bit of kick up, but I want that. I want a little bit of kick up because I want the pigmentation to be there. But it's not so much that it's like fluffing all over my face, if that makes sense. It's like just enough where you know that there's product on your brush and you know that like it's not packed so hard that it's impossible to get any pigmentation. It is so good. It wears, like they wear beautifully. The mattes are just so creamy blend. I mean, I'm obsessed. I mean, obviously I'm just yapping on about them, but they blend beautifully. They like work well with primer, without primer. I prefer for the most part, especially with shimmers in general, like it doesn't matter what the shimmer is, I prefer a primer with it, but these are really good. And I feel like you honestly can't go wrong with these. I mean, I talk about these all the time. And at this point I'm a broken record, but they're just so good. Okay, next. Brows. Let's do brows next. So, brow gel. There's one and only, okay, that I have used nonstop, truly obsessed, except for soap brows. And if I do soap brows, I use a soap. I use a pear soap. I'll link everything down below so you can find it. I'll use a soap for that, because I know you can buy a soap brow product, but I just use soap and it's really good, but it has to be a clear soap. But this is the Brow Gel of Dreams, the Rose Inc Clear Brow Gel. This one by far is the best. The Rose Inc Clear Brow Gel, just brows in place all day, not super waxy, but waxy enough. Doesn't give me like white like stuff. I just have to be careful when I'm when I'm brushing it through my brows, because as you can see, it's not truly clear, but it is clear. You just have to make sure you brush it through really well, and don't over apply it. But this just, everything stays in place all day. It's just so freaking good. I'm obsessed. Okay, now we're moving on to brow pencils. And I have two. And the reason that there's two is because they're drastically different price points, but they are very similar products. First, I want to talk about this one. This is the Westman Atelier brow pencil. I have the shade Bargain this. This is a great brow pencil. But if you have really skinny eyebrows, this might be a little bit tough just because it is more of a slant, as you can see. It's not too waxy, but it has enough waxiness to really last all day and not like just wipe off the second you sweat. And there's a ton of product in this. This is going to last me forever. It has a little spoolie at the end here, which is great. And it has really nice ashy tones to it. So it's not looking really orange if you have really dark, I mean, I have really dark hair. And if you have dark features, like sometimes stuff that just looks crazy orange on you, it kind of gives you like the perfect brow, and I really enjoy this, although this is hella expensive. Okay, next we have the PYT brow pencil. I'm obsessed with it, and this is more affordable by far than the Westman Atelier one, and they have very similar undertones, a little bit more waxy than the Westman Atelier one, so when you're wearing a brow gel that is a little bit more on the waxy side, you just have to be careful that you're not like sticking the hairs together, because sometimes waxy stuff can just like get hairs to kind of stick together a little bit. I mean, you can brush it out and stuff, but just a little bit of caution with this one just because of that, because it's a little bit more waxy than the Westman Atelier. The Westman Atelier is definitely a little less waxy, but they're both incredible. Both have really nice undertones. They're not super warm. I don't know. I'm obsessed with this brow pencil. I mean, I talked about this a million times on this channel already, and like, You can't go wrong. The affordability here is amazing. And this again is one of those that isn't a pinpoint. It's more of a, it's not as much of a slant. It's more of a straight line, but it's really good. All right, let's move on to eyeliners. So I have two different types of eyeliners, liquid and regular. So traditional eyeliner, I had a hard time with this one because eyeliner can kind of depend on my needs. So if I want something that's more smudgy, I wouldn't go with this one. But this one, the Personal Cosmetics eyeliner, is so freaking good. I have the shade brown. It doesn't move. It doesn't budge, you guys. Lasting all dang day, in space all day. Like, it's just so good. Like, it lasts forever. Amazing. I'm obsessed with this. If I want something that is really long lasting but also smudgy, I'll go with the Cali Ray Beauty eyeliners. Those are incredible as well. Really good. Really good. But this specific brown tone is just life-changing. It's so good. If you have really dark hair, sweetie, you need it. Okay, and then liquid eyeliners is the PYT ones because these do not move. These do not move. They do not move. They have more of a flexible, like, tip, which might not be everyone's cup of tea. Some people like something a little bit harder. I mean, so what's nice about this is only the tippity here is really flexible. The rest is more firm. But I love this for doing a cat eye, and this literally doesn't move, you guys. And they're so pigmented. This blue color, so pigmented. Okay, next we have mascaras. And I have more than one, but there's a reason for more than one because it depends on the brush style you like. So, I know, you're like, can you stop talking about it? No. The Ilia mascara. I'm sorry, the Limitless one, so their first one. This one has a plastic wand, which is why I have another one. This is such a good mascara. It gives me like volume, but I can also get a really separated lash. Like, this is a very versatile mascara. It's just so good, you guys. It's just so good. I am freaking obsessed with it. So, no one's shocked because I talk about it all the time, but this is definitely my favorite mascara ever. All right, the next one, Jones Road Beauty Mascara. This mascara is so freaking good, you guys. Okay, yeah, it's just so good. So it has like a macaroni noodle shape or a U shape. I don't know why I called it macaroni noodle shape. It's so good. Really nice separating. The wand isn't super, it's not soft, but I don't know. It's like the perfect wand. It's so good. Mascara is amazing. I'm obsessed with this mascara. I need to buy a new one. Actually, I'm running out, but this is really good. And I feel like of mascaras that I truly am obsessed with, like, these two are like the pinnacle obsession. Today I'm actually not wearing either of those. I'm actually wearing the Milk Makeup Kush mascara. Let me show you. How cute is she? She's cute. But the Jones Road Beauty one kind of etched that one out because I was also picking between the Kush because I've been using the Kush one a lot. But when I really thought about it, I was saying, you know what, Jones Road Beauty. I use literally all day, every day. All right, you guys, lips next. Let's get into it. So first things first, let's do gloss. So the Tower 28 glosses, I love them. Super shiny, have enough hydration, thick enough but not thin. I don't know how to explain it. Like, just really, really good overall gloss. Just a good gloss. Gives you shine, makes your lips look really plumped up, and super healthy. Really good. Next, let's move on to lip oil, which is also kind of a gloss, but I was picking between two lip oils. The LYS Beauty lip oil, which I love, or the Amie Colé lip oil. And I'm going with the Amie Colé just because I am obsessed with the shade, because this comes in a color. The LYS Beauty one is clear, so if you love a clear one, the LYS Beauty one is so good. Also a little bit thicker. This one is so good. I'm gonna apply a little bit. Super hydrating, really glossy, really nice universal shade. They have one shade, and this is just so good. It just keeps me hydrated, keeps my lips feeling and looking plumped up and like healthy all day. Look at that. It's just so good. I'm truly obsessed. Like, ugh, it's just so good. And it plays really well on top of lipsticks, lip liners, all that. I was wearing a lip liner. And let's segue into lip liners next. Because you know I love me a liner. So I was trying to think about my favorite lip liner, and there's no denying it. I mean, I love the new Kosas one. It's really good, but this by far is my favorite, the Victoria Beckham lip liners. I have 4 shades. The other one is in my bathroom. I have the shade 05, 02, 04, and then the color red. it's too good, you guys. They're just too good. They're not super drying. They have beautiful shade options. So if you have darker skin, they have great options. But if you have lighter skin, they have great options. I'm actually on my lips before I applied the Amicole lip oil. I was wearing the shade O2 on my lips, and it just gives me something. The shades are beautiful, really luxe looking, really luxe feeling, not super hydrating to the point where like the lip liner kind of slips and slides all over your face, but not super drying at all. It's kind of that perfect in between. They last really long, and they just give me, I don't know, I just feel like my lips look really good with the lip liners. I'm obsessed. And the shades are just really good. I don't know. I'm obsessed with these lip liners. And so when you buy them on the website, they tell you it's like $24 or $26. $26 one is the one that comes with a little sharpener because you have to sharpen these, but the $24 one doesn't come with a sharpener. So you have a sharpener at home, you don't need this. And if you buy one and then you repurchase it, you just got a million sharpeners. Really good. I have a couple more products, I have 2 more color lip products, and then I have a lip balm, and then we're done. Lipstick first, Kosas. This Kosas lipstick, specifically the shade Vegas. Now, I also really like the new Merit Beauty ones. However, I feel like this just has like a longevity that the Merit Beauty one does not have as much, because that one's a little bit more hydrating. This one's still super hydrating, the shade Vegas. The shade that I would equate in the Merit one would be the shade Slip. That one's a really beautiful shade. I love this lipstick. I wore this on my wedding day. I'm obsessed with it. It's like a perfect, beautiful nude. It's just so good. I have a backup of this because I can't run out of it. It's just so gorgeous. I like to wear it with a brown lip liner. I think everyone needs a brown lip liner in their collection. Trust me, it's going to change the game for you. I don't care how light or how dark your complexion is. You need it. It's just so good. This is a really good lipstick. It's super hydrating. It lasts pretty decently long for being hydrating. If you need a good wedding nude, this is a great one. And if you just get a nice brown lip liner that works for your complexion, whatever that may be, if you like it really dark or you like it a little bit dark, whatever it is, wear it with that and it'll just completely change your game. Okay, next let's move on to lip stains. So I don't always love a lip stain. It's more of an occasion thing for me, but I do really like these from Victoria Beckham Beauty. They're really nice and they're super hydrating. Sometimes lip stains can just be Sahara dry. Just Sahara dry, just the driest of dry lips. But these are great. So I have the shade Bisou, this beautiful purpley tone. The one thing I don't like about these is like the color name, like the sticker falls off. So luckily I remember the name of this one because it already fell off. This is the shade Amour, which is like this beautiful apricot-y tone, like brownie apricot-y tone. It's gorgeous. I love this. Really good, super hydrating. Again, leaves a decent stain, but it's not super intense, where I know there's like the new Fenty Beauty ones that people are obsessed with. It's not that intense of a stain, but also you have to remember the way that things stain everyone is a little bit different, because not everyone's going to have the same staining of a lip with lip stains. Some people just, I don't know what it is, like their lips just, the color permeates like a lot stronger than on other people. And so everything is kind of very dependent on the person, but these are really good. Again, not quite as like stain heavy, at least for me, as the Fenty Beauty ones. I have tried the Fenty Beauty ones. Those ones stain crazy. But these ones are great. And lip stains in general, you don't have to wipe it off. I see a lot of people wiping the stain off just to show you the stain. You don't have to wipe the stain off. You just apply it, let it go, and then when it wears off throughout the day, then you still have the stain, which is nice. These are great. Okay, next, lip balm. So I didn't agonize, but I have a lot of lip balms that I love. I mean, I have a whole lip balm video, but there's one specifically that no matter what it is, I need to have in my collection, and that is the Lanolips 101 ointment. This is just the strawberry scented one, but they have one that is just like the original. That one's really good too. Really smoothing on the lips, really like gets any dryness, like hydrates it a lot and like kind of just smooths it out really nicely. This is a great like throw in your bag and put on top of anything. I love the strawberry scent. I actually just ran out of this is like, they changed their packaging a little bit. This was like my original one of the strawberry. So good. I love this for summer. It just makes me feel so dang young. But this is real, you know, when like anything that's like specific scents just make you feel really youthful. Strawberry scented stuff makes me feel really youthful. But this is really good, really hydrating. I love it. You can wear it on your lips, on your like cuticles, whatever. Really good. I like this a lot. And the consistency is great because it's not super thin, but it's not crazy thick where I'm like You know, like sometimes when lip balm is just like too much, it's doing the most. This doesn't do that really good. And yeah, that is it for my top clean beauty products in like in my makeup category. I would love to know your thoughts down below. Let me know what your favorites are. Leave them. I always love to hear from you guys. Let me know what you've been loving. Leave it down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.